What up? What up? What up? What's going on? What's happening? What's going on with you this morning, this evening, tonight? How is everybody? Today was media day. Got some interesting conversations to wrap up, which was dope. You know, I thought I heard some good stuff. Got people filing in here. What up, Troy? How you doing, brother? Brando, what up? King, what up? What up, Lucas? How you doing, brother? Shelvin, what's going on, brother? What's up, Andrew? How you doing? Mikhail, what's going on, man? Thanks, Shelvin. I appreciate you, brother. No doubt. Appreciate you. Good day, mate. ENS in the house. Running good, chat. How you doing, brother? You good? Word. So a number of different things to start this off. You know, a lot of people had some insight about Udoka and the Boston Celtics and about their trials right now, so to speak. And how are they gonna? Hello, Jillian dear. How are you? You know, a lot of trials about, you know, how they're gonna handle the season with Udoka being out. I personally think that the biggest issue isn't Udoka, and the reason why is because there's only one holdover from that coaching staff. When Udoka got hired, the head coach is the only guy who wasn't his guy. The guy that they have in here now, he's the only guy who wasn't their guy. Everybody else on the staff, Ticket, what up, brother? What's going on with you? Everybody else on that Boston Celtics staff, that's Udoka's guy. So when he got hired last season, he brought in all his new guys. The only guy that's on the staff right now that wasn't his guy is the head coach. Everybody else is gone, right? So I don't think that the transition in terms of a new voice is going to be an issue. And the reason why is because with all of those guys being Udoka's guys, I think that a lot of the stuff that they're going to run, I think it's going to be from Udoka. And the reason why is because, you know, they won the NBA championship, right? They won the NBA championship last year. So it's obvious that a lot of the stuff that they were doing was working. So because it was working, let's keep that thing going, right? Now, I don't think he's going to be the biggest problem. I honestly don't think that him being missing is going to be the biggest problem. Their rim protector, their best interior defender, their rebounder. He's the guy who, now that he's out of the lineup, and by the way, this 8 to 12 weeks, that's not him coming back. These 8 to 12 weeks, that's him being able to do basketball activity. So he ain't going to be able to run, nothing. Well, we're looking at 3 months, him not being able to run. So you might not have him until after the All-Star break. So he could very well miss half the season. And when you got a rim protector and an interior defender and a rebounder like that, as a perimeter player, what that does is that enhances my defense because it helps me to take more chances. It helps me to be more aggressive on ball and do different things like that. Not just me individually as a defender, but that's as a whole, because I got this dude behind me to clean up my mess. Now, when he's not there, I can't be nearly as aggressive defensively. I can't take the chances that I'd much rather because he's not back there. So that's going to be a problem for them. Now, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, those guys being able to get on the same page like they did, I think that's huge for team morale going forward. Because now we have an identity. And now we got it figured out who the leaders on the crew is, who the leaders on the crew are, not only who the leaders on the crew are, what we're going to be doing. We following these dudes. Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. These are our guys. Right? These are our guys. So, with that being said, we shouldn't have a problem with those guys. I think losing Robert Williams, for as long as they're going to lose him, they're going to struggle. I still think Boston is a top 5 seed in the East, though. Even though the East is a lot better than what it's been in the past, I still think that Boston is a top 5 seed out in the East. I got Milwaukee at the top, as you guys know. I got Miami in the number 2 spot. I got Philly in the number 3 spot. I got Boston in the number 4 spot. And I got Cleveland in the number 5 spot. So it's the beginning of the year. So when you see media day, a lot of people get hyped up and they get sucked into just the logic of, yo, we doing this, we doing that. Because it's media day. Everybody looks good. Everybody looks in great shape. Everybody looks like they're ready to go. But we still have to remember what we saw. We can't just completely forget that. Because if we forgot that, right? If we forgot about the Brooklyn Nets getting swept out of the playoffs, then once that not happens again, but once we see them go the other way, you'll be surprised. Like, wait a minute. Well, this crew isn't much different than what it was a year before. It's not. This crew is not much different. Now, they added Royce O'Neal. That's another wing defender that they didn't have. They added Ben Simmons. That's another. He's the head of their attack off defensively on the perimeter. Now, he's the guy who he'll say to Kevin Durant. He's the guy who'll say to Kyrie Irving, yo, I'll deal with Trae Young. You score the rest of the points. He'll say to Kevin Durant, yo, I'm going to deal with Giannis. I'll do what I can to deal with Giannis. Right? I'm going to do what I can to deal with Giannis. I'll do what I can to deal with Giannis, but you score the rest of the points. Now, when I look at this Brooklyn unit, the hole that they still have, that they haven't filled up, they have not filled up that big hole in the middle. That's where they got beat up last year. That's exactly where they got beat up at last year. I thought that adding Andre Drummond would be a big deal for them, only except it wasn't. And he didn't play as much as I thought Steve Nash would play him. He didn't play in the meat and potatoes of the game. He didn't play in stretches, and I didn't understand that. I really didn't. So I'm having a difficult time with that. Excuse me for 1 second. I'm sorry. So yeah, I still think that that's a need that they don't have, and I'm interested. You already know how I feel about Brooklyn. I'm out on the Brooklyn Nets. I think they're right outside the play-in tournament, but we'll see. Right inside the play-in tournament. When I say on the outside, that means they don't make the playoffs. I mean right inside the play-in tournament. Why do you feel that way, Jillian? What's your issue with Miami this season? Is it because? Would it be because? I want to hear from you. Why do you think that? CJ McCullough, Herb Jones, in top 6 challenges. I think that New Orleans is a play-in team. I got the Lakers right inside the play-in tournament. I got them at 6, but they could be a play-in team. They very well could be. They don't have a single power forward. That's fair. If they would move Bam to the 4, like I've said, they just lost PJ, and I feel like Lowry is just getting too old to be majorly effective. I think that's fair. Adding that to the fact that, he was out of shape last year. So that's valid. Looking at the crew and looking at what they had last year, him being out of shape, that's valid. Here's the thing, though. Losing PJ, I think that was a big deal, but they still had one of the best rotations in the game. Miami might have the best bench. They might have from 6 to 10. I put them in the same category with the Golden State Warriors. I'm thinking of rotations in the league, and I don't know if there's a better rotation, with the exception of the Golden State Warriors with Poole and Kuminga, and Wiseman, which I think Wiseman's going to start. But Poole and Kuminga, what's this kid's name that I'm thinking about? I think that Golden State has one of the better rotations in the game, and Miami does too. So I think Moody. That's what I'm thinking about. Rocco, perfect. That's what I'm thinking about. Moody. And nobody is talking nearly enough about bagging DiVincenzo. Bagging DiVincenzo was huge for the Golden State Warriors. He's going to be big. Had he not gotten hurt in Milwaukee, he would have been their starting 2 guard on an NBA championship team. He would have been their starting 2. And I think that that's big for. I think that bagging him, he's gonna get. Not only is he gonna get into their rotation, he's gonna be fighting with Poole for minutes. And I know how you guys feel about Poole, but I'm telling you right now, DiVincenzo is gonna be battling him for minutes. Watch. Primarily because DiVincenzo is not food on defense. Poole is a steak. DiVincenzo is not food on defense. Let's make sure that we 100% clear on that. He is not. So Miles Turner. I did a draft. My team went to the finals. Who do you think wins? CP, Kobe, Tatum, Duncan, Russell, Big O versus Dame, Jordan, Leonard, Carl, D-Rob, and Russ. Probably your team. I think that I think that the problem with what you here's the thing, Jillian. When I think about Jae Crowder, I don't think Jae Crowder needs to be on a crew like the Miami Heat or Milwaukee or any crew like that. And the reason why I feel like that is because Jae Crowder, the reason why he wants out of Phoenix is because he wants a bigger role. He doesn't think that they're playing him like they should be. He thinks he should be more involved in the offense. He thinks he should get more shots when in reality, what is he? If he's a starter, he's your 4th best starter. Is he your 5th guy? So if he's getting on your crew, he can't come on your crew thinking, yo, you need to involve me in the O more. Because if that's true, then what crew is he getting on where we're going to involve him more in the O and it's going to be beneficial to us? So, for example, keep him away from any of my kids. So if I'm Cleveland, I'm not interested in that at all. Not at all. I'm not interested in that at all. So a team Toronto maybe, but Toronto doesn't fit what Toronto doing. Toronto needs size. They still haven't. Toronto doesn't work because the problem that they had with Philadelphia, the problem that they had with Milwaukee, the problem that they had with Boston, They don't have no size. They don't have any big guys. Their big guy is Siakam. That's it. That is it. So I was feeling Toronto, but I'm thinking I don't think that Toronto works because they don't have any size. But I will tell you this. I think he was in a great situation in Phoenix. With Book being the guy and Chris Paul being the guy, I think this season is the season that they're going to involve. I think that they're going to involve DeAndre Ayton more in the offense. I think that that's going to be something that you're going to see. They're going to involve him more. That's why I felt like they could have beat the Warriors, because that was the whole. See, with Wiseman out of the lineup and DeAndre Ayton just playing big, all we had to do is just dump it in the hole of him. And it ain't necessarily dump it in the hole of him like you dump it into Embiid or you dump it into Joker where you let him go to work. No, you get Ayton more involved with bury post moves, like how Malone used to do, where he would bury a guy underneath the basket, where the ball is moving and DeAndre Ayton, he's not going to be at the box, or you throw the ball to the rim because he's one of the best rim runners in the game. And I think that would have hampered Golden State. But I still believe that they got outcoached, and I still stand on that logic. But that's neither here nor there. When I think about Jae Crowder wanting out of Phoenix, I just think about a dude who looks at his role, who was in Miami, and he was on a finals team. He's looking at his role in Phoenix thinking, yo, I should be more a part of what we're doing. When in reality, that may be true if you were in Dallas. That may be true if he was in Charlotte, Atlanta. But on a championship team, on a championship unit, Jae Crowder is a number 4. He's a rotation guy. And I'm not sure that there's a championship team that's looking at Jae Crowder going, yo, we're going to add him. We're going to add him to our unit. And he's going to make us better. Depending on what role you give him. Because he's leaving this unit thinking that he could contribute more. The question is how much more? Because if he goes to the Denver Nuggets, so Busted, you telling me about the Denver Nuggets, right? So I already got Murray coming back this season. I got MPJ coming back this season. And these dudes going to be an integral part of what we're doing, in addition to Joker. So where does that leave? Where does that leave Jae Crowder? He's still the number 4 guy on that unit, just like he is in Phoenix. Just like he is in Phoenix. Now, I like that Sexton most improved. I do like that. And I like that simply because Utah's going to be super whack. Utah is not going to be whack this season. They're going to be super. They might be the worst team in the NBA. They could very well be the worst team in the NBA. Utah could be. So that means Sexton could clearly. That means Sexton could just rock. There is no in between about, yo, you gotta defer to this dude. No. They're going to give him the basketball and let him rock. I'm surprised they still got Jordan Clarkson, because I thought that he'd be out too. Because Danny Ainge essentially, he just blew the whole unit up. Mitchell gone, Royce gone, Rudy gone, Boggs gone. Everybody's gone. So I'm actually surprised that Clarkson is still there. I'm interested to see if Clarkson ends up hanging on. Crowder clears who, King? You think Crowder clears Sexton? Who do you think Crowder clears? Did you see the NASA Did you see the NASA hit the asteroid? What are you talking about? No, I don't know what you mean, my man. Mm-hmm. No, he does not. I do not think Jae Crowder clears Aaron Gordon. I think Aaron Gordon is a better athlete. I don't know if he's a better defender, but I don't think it's that far off. I think he's just as good a rebounder. I think he's a better transition player. Jae Crowder shoot the long ball better. I will give you that. Yes, he does. But he clears Gordon. No, I'm not going that far. Nope. No way am I going that far. No. What's up, Tyrese? How you doing, brother? You talking hoops right now? No doubt. No, I don't do I don't play fantasy football. I don't play fantasy basketball. I just don't know enough about it, so I think I'm good. I think that you're right about that, Labs. I think that I can appreciate him. I can appreciate Jae Crowder wanting a bigger role, but the $1 million question is how big of a role should he have? That's the question. Here's the question, 3 mil, because I got roasted for that. That Mikal Bridges should have been the defensive player of the year. I made a post a couple of weeks back that the majority of guys, and I think I had this conversation with you as a matter of fact, that guys, whether it's a league MVP, it's a defensive player of the year, it's an all-NBA performer, their body of work goes into them doing that. I hear people telling me all it matters is what you did this year. So if that's true, then why didn't Mikal Bridges win the defensive player of the year? He's the best defensive player on a top 10 team, on a top 10 defensive team. He was clearly the best player in Phoenix. Best defensive player in Phoenix. No question about it. He was clearly the best player. Not only was he clearly the best player, his numbers were better than Marcus Smart. No, it wasn't, King. It was not. He averaged more rebounds. He had a higher defensive rating. He averaged more rebounds, and he averaged more blocks than Marcus Smart. So no, he didn't. Marcus Smart was not. You can't even tell me if Marcus Smart was the best defensive player on his team. Was he a better defensive player than Robbie Williams? Can we get to the bottom of that? And he played the whole season. I told you that Giannis and Hakeem are a better front court. They were torched him. Yeah, there is a reason why he won the award. You know the reason why he won the award? What we cannot discount, I want to make sure that we clear, King. We cannot discount the fact that Marcus Smart, 3 of the last 4 years, first team All NBA. First team All Defense. Not first team All NBA. First team All Defense. Mikal Bridges does not have a track record. Because again, his numbers were better. He had a better defensive rating, he averaged more rebounds, and he averaged more blocks. The only thing he did better, the only thing Marcus Smart did better was he averaged more steals. That's it. That's it. Nothing more. Marcus Smart got a track record, though. First team All Defense 3 of the last 4 years. That matters. That matters, B. Absolutely matters. Powell could be an all-star. Yeah, he could. Yeah, he could. Yes, he could. And he's got a track record too, Arian. Don't leave that part out. Please, let's not leave that part out. Because, excuse me, because what we're not doing is we can't say that it's the best play, it's the best defensive player on the best defensive team. Because if we're doing that, then we got to do that with the league MVP too. It's the best player on the best team. And if that's the case, then every year it would be more definitive. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. You know, Giannis, when you talk about a guy having better numbers, you know, in the 1920 season, I think it was the 18-19 season. No, it was the 19-20 season. Giannis was first team all defense. You know that Andre Drummond averaged more rebounds, he averaged more blocks, and he averaged more steals. Didn't sniff the all-league defensive team. Didn't sniff it. Did not sniff the all-league, and he had a higher defensive rating than Giannis. Didn't sniff it. So he was. That part, and here's the other thing that we have to mention too, Arian, and I don't think you were in here when I said anything about that. I don't think you was in here when I said anything about it, Arian, that we can't discount when you got an elite rim protector, an elite interior defender, an elite rebounder on your team, right? You can't discount that. That's important. Because what that does, do I have a troll in here? Yes, I do. I got a troll. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jillian, dear. When you have a guy like that behind you, thank you, Jillian, dear. When you have a guy like that behind you, it makes my life less difficult as a defender. I mean, I remember Avery Johnson talking about the fact that, you know, with 5-0 back there, he made our lives way less difficult. Way less difficult. So I don't think Marcus Smart is overrated I don't think Marcus Smart is overrated on any stretch of the imagination. I don't think so. However, I still stand on the logic that Jrue Holiday is the best perimeter defender in the game. And I think the fact that his game travels. So the fact that Jrue Holiday, his ability to defend when he got Anthony Davis behind him, that makes him an even better defensive player. When he got Giannis playing behind him, that makes him an even better defensive player. So Marcus Smart, as good as he is defensively, when he got Robert Williams behind him, that makes him even better. So you add that in with the track record that he's already produced, which is, I'm a first-team all-league defender 3 of the last 4 years. That stuff matters moving forward. Well, here's the thing, Aaron. What do you mean they might be dangerous? I think that Minnesota's a top 5 team in the West. I absolutely believe that. I think they're a top 5 team in the West. No doubt. So well, here's the thing. The way I think that they're going to use him, right? The way I think that they're going to use Rudy, and I had mentioned this in the past, I think Dirk Nowitzki and Tyson Chandler. That's how they're going to use, because Cat now can move to his natural position, which is the 4. Cat never was a 5-man. He had to play the 5 in Minnesota. Cat is really a 4. He played the 4 at Kentucky with Willie Cauley-Stein, and he was awesome at the 4. So now we got to move. Now we get to move him to the 4, and he becomes more of a stretch 4. Not only does he become more of a stretch 4, his ability to defend it gets enhanced, because I don't got to deal with those 5 men that I had to deal with. I don't got to deal with Embiid now. Rudy gonna deal with him. I don't got to deal with Joker now. Rudy gonna deal with him. I don't got to deal with these bigs now. I can slide over to the 4, and now I can become better defensively. And what that's also going to do is that's going to make my offense even better. Because Rudy being the rim protector he is, he speed the game up. And with him speeding the game up and making the game faster, Cat can get out in the open floor. Because as we all know, all of us in here, where does Cat's game start? Cat's game starts 15 feet and in. Once Cat gets that mid-range going, then the offense completely blows open. Completely blows open. And if you could get Cat out in transition, you could get Cat stopping and popping 14, 15 feet, or you could get him in the offense in the mid-range, he is so much better. And Rudy is going to enhance that. Oh, gee, I saw your video, international players versus U.S. players. And should all player go to Europe because they come on polished quicker? I don't know if I understand your question. I think you're trying to ask, should all players go to Europe because they come back polished? No, I wouldn't say that, because understand something, Keyshawn. There are guys who play in the NBA that can't play in the EuroLeague. And I'm talking about stars. I'm not talking about good players. I'm talking about stars. There are stars that play in the NBA that can't play in the EuroLeague. And it's guys that play in the EuroLeague that can't play in the NBA. It's a completely different game. Excuse me. It's a completely different game. So when I see a guy like Luka, right? When I see a guy like Luka come back or come into the NBA, the reason why his game is what it is because, well, the reason why he was so far ahead of Ayton and Trey and all of those guys coming in is because him playing at the pro level, not just him playing at the pro level, the way that they were teaching the game, why he came in as the distributor that he came in as, why he came in as the scorer that he came in as, and how he picked up the game, so quickly. The reason why he picked it up so quickly, same thing with Giannis. I mean, within 2 years, Giannis was most improved, right? Within 2 years, Giannis is the most improved player. 2 more years after that, he's on the All-NBA team. So they're teaching the game different over there. They're teaching you, not just in the AAU system, they're teaching you to get there. In Europe, they're teaching what works and how to dominate and how to stick. That's the difference. Rudy doesn't need offense. He doesn't need self-creation. He does not need that. Even though he did average 15 a game. So let's dead the logic that he doesn't have. He did average 15 a game in an offense, by the way, where they didn't feature him. So make sure that you don't leave that part out, King. That's very important to mention. It was in an offense that they did not feature him. If they featured him, I think that he would have been. I always felt like they were using him wrong in that offense. Always felt like that. I wasn't, because when I saw him in the Olympics, and how that French team was using him, where Rudy was able to stop in the mid post and pop a jump shot, where Rudy was able to stop in the paint while he was rim running and pop a hook, where they would get Rudy out in transition. They weren't using him in Utah like that. They'd go 3, 4, 5 trips where he doesn't touch the ball unless he's rebounding it and throwing it out to somebody else. They didn't involve him nearly as much. And he still managed to average 15 a game. Still managed. Of course, Tracy McGrady is going to say that. And the reason why he's going to say that is because if you look at what they've done in that offense and how they're using him. If I saw him in the Olympics and he looked way different than what he did in Utah. Way different. Way different. It's interesting you mentioned that too, King, about Terrence Mann. What has Terrence Mann done since that happened 2 years ago? Go ahead. Tell everybody in here what he's done since that happened 2 years ago. Go ahead. I'm listening. And not only that, King, make sure that you tell everybody in here that Quinn Snyder also got out coached in that series too. Don't just leave that part out, because that's very important to mention. Very important. Very important to mention. You got the T-Wolves over the Cavs in the finals, Tyrese? Whoa. Wow. Wow. That's putting a lot on it. Oh. No, not in the finals. Where do you have them at? Hmm. Thanks, BP. What's up, brother? How you doing? Good? Oh, I love them as a young core. No doubt about that. Kyle Anderson is definitely, slow-mo is definitely going to help them. No doubt. See, Clark, I can't get with that logic. He's not playing top bigs. What are top bigs? He was playing in the Euro. He was just playing in the Euro Championships. Giannis is a top big. Joker played in there. What are you talking about? Just because he ain't playing them on the regular, these are the same guys that he's playing against in the league. I do not think that the Suns are out of championship contention. I think they're the second best team in the West. I do not feel like that at all. No, I do not, sir. Nope. PJ Tucker. I didn't say points. Whoa. When did I say points per game no matter? Let me get with my man King real quick because I want to. Apparently, he got a beef with me. I'm saying points per game don't matter, but you bringing up stats, but you always say points per game don't matter. Wait a minute. When do I ever say that what you average doesn't matter? I'm always bringing up the fact that Carmelo Anthony averaged 26 a game for a decade. I'm always bringing up the fact that LeBron James averaged 27 a game, 25 or more for 18 straight years. I'm always bringing up the fact that Jabbar averaged 30 a game for 8 straight years. What am I? Where am I getting this wrong at? Right, he averaged 9 points. You bringing up Terrence Mann like Terrence Mann is a guy who always does work. That was a fluke. We haven't heard from Terrence Mann since that happened. What have you heard from Terrence Mann since that happened? Since he went off in that one game, which was a career game for him. Since then, what have you heard from him? What have you heard from him? I haven't heard anything from him. He averaged 9 points a game, not last year, not just last year, but the year before that, he averaged less. So he goes off that one game, and Rudy can't defend on the wing because Terrence Mann scorched him. I watched Derek Martin put 40 on John Stockton. Have you ever heard of you ain't heard Derek? In fact, I was actually at that game. I ain't heard about that. I ain't heard from Derek Martin since. And here's the issue, Clark. Would it be fair to say that Ty Lue outcoached Quinn Snyder in that series? Because all the Clippers did was they went 5 wide. That was it. And all they did was it wasn't like these dudes was just scorching them. All they was doing was shooting the long ball. That's it. That's all they did. It wasn't like Rudy was getting crossed up and he was getting. All they did was shoot the long ball. That's it. Rudy is a rim to 15 to 16 foot perimeter defender. After that, it gets a little tricky. But it wasn't like they did something astronomical. All they did was shoot the long ball. That's it. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything astronomical. So the question that I'm asking is when you talk about Rudy defensively on the perimeter, what exactly are we looking for? Are we looking for how many bigs? I mean, is Embiid an elite perimeter defender? Is Joker an elite perimeter defender? But the fact that Joker could shoot the long ball, that doesn't matter. The fact that Embiid could shoot the long ball, that doesn't matter. Well, I don't know if I'm going to go that far, Clark. I do think he's got lateral movement. I mean, I watched him in the Euro games against Luka and against Giannis. He can move laterally. Now, we're talking about a guy who's 7 foot, right? So he's not going to move like a guy that's 6'5". That's not going to happen. No. But he does need help. Yeah, he does need help. Just like any other big guy. Let me make sure that I'm understanding this correctly. If you get Embiid on a pick and switch with Steph Curry, is Steph Curry not going to scorch his ass? And I'm sorry, I'm cussing. If you get Embiid switched on to Fred VanVleet in a pick and switch, is Fred VanVleet not going to – I dragged this big man out to the deep end. I will scorch him. I will straight scorch him. If you get Joker on a pick and switch with, I'm not even thinking about a great. I'm not gonna say Ja or Kyrie Irving or Trae Young. No, I'm gonna say somebody like Drew Holiday. I'm 100% confident. If you get Drew Holiday on a pick and switch with Joker 22 feet away from the basket, he's gonna go after him. He's gonna absolutely go after him. So, what are we talking about? It's actually 3 of them, Murray. Right. Jalen Brunson, somebody like that. Jalen Brunson is looking at, if he gets Joker 22 feet away from the basket on a switch, I'm blowing his doors off. Jalen Brunson is looking at him like he lunch. Absolutely he is. Yeah, he is. Sure he is. If he could put Chris Paul on skates, Joker 22 feet away from the basket is food. But that is every switch on a center besides like only Giannis. Right. So why are we singling out Rudy? Because it wasn't like man put him on skates. All they did was go 5 wide and shot the long ball. That was it. That was all they did. Which current player reminds me of Detlef Shrimp? It was Kukoc. And then when Kukoc, Dirk was a better version of Detlef. Shoot the long ball, put the ball on the floor. Yes, we do, Laughs. He is food. That dude is food. No doubt. Go get a plate because he is food. No, I don't, King. I don't think that they're going to struggle. I don't. I still stand on that, Fox. I do. I still stand on that logic, man. I really feel like that. Is Drew a top PG for you, OG? I can name Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, Jaren Jackson, didn't he foul out of the most games in the playoffs? So what happened when Jaren Jackson got switched on to Steph Curry? What happened when Jaren Jackson got switched on to Jordan Poole? He was food. In fact, they were hunting him. Go after him. Because we know that at 6'10", 6'11", we know he's going to make mistakes. We know him in particular. He's going to make mistakes. And he did that. As good a defender as Jaren Jackson is, they went after him. They were looking to get the pick and switch on him on the perimeter. Because we know that he's going to make mistakes. So guys like Jaren Jackson, Bam, on the other hand, I still stand on the logic, and I've said it already, and I still stand on it. I think that Bam is more suited to be a 4. I don't think he's a 5-man. I do not think he's a 5-man. And the fact that they got him playing a 5, I think it's hampering his offense. And I think he'd be so much better if he played the 4. No doubt, busted. Here's a straight turkey leg. A straight turkey leg. DeAndre Jordan's going to wear number 6. How's he going to do that? Didn't they retire to number 6? Every team retired number 6, didn't they? I thought they retired number 6. So if that's true, then how is DeAndre going to wear 6? He wasn't pulling from Curry range. No, he wasn't. He was going after him, man. King, your logic, this is what you're trying to sell to me. This is what you're trying to sell to me. Your stance is that Rudy Gobert is overrated. That's where you are. And what you're trying to support that with is you're trying to support that with guys like Jaren Jackson who foul a lot. You're trying to support that with that. You're trying to support that with guys like Jaren Jackson who foul a lot. Bam, who is really a 4 at 6'9", and he's not as big as him. That's what you're trying to support it with. You're not supporting it with anything legit. You're not supporting it with facts. You're not. No, you're not. No, I don't think all the numbers are going to be retired. I don't. You haven't given me games. Okay, so let me get this straight. You are the one on here who told us you're the same one. You're the same one that's giving us facts, right? I want to make sure I'm clear. You're giving me facts, right? So in the process of giving me facts, you're the same one who came on here during the playoffs and told all of us. Because don't think I forgot. This is the same dude that told us Jaren Jackson is a better defender than Giannis. Should I continue this conversation with this dude or should I stop and entertain something else? Please let me know because I will. Please let me know because I will continue it. Otherwise, should I stop this? Then we're done. Anyway. I don't know, Fred, because I don't think that they didn't address their size need. They're still small, man. And when they run up on teams like Boston, when they run up on teams like Philly, they got great coaching, but the problem is that they're small and them teams pound them. And I think that's where the problem is with Toronto. They don't have any big guys. I don't think that they have any big guys, so that's where the problem lies. I remember a lot more than you think, Keyshawn. A lot more than you think. A lot of stuff goes in the one ear and out the other. A lot of people think it does, but it doesn't. Here we go. Here we go. So he'll double down. Who is Lamar Jackson in the NBA? Jimmy Butler. That's who Lamar Jackson is. He keep producing, and you keep doing this when he producing. This is where you're supposed to be, and this is what you're supposed to be doing. But you're doing this. You're looking over here. You're looking over here. You're looking over. Meanwhile, this is where he is. This is where he is, and this is what he's doing. This is where you at. You over here. You over there, and you ain't paying no attention to him. None. You ain't paying no attention to him. None whatsoever. Meanwhile, his team is making deep runs in the playoffs. He's on the All NBA team. He's on the All League defensive team. But you over here and you over there. You ain't paying no attention. None whatsoever. I'm gonna keep my eye out for Sexton too, Fred. I will do that. I'll keep my eye out for Sexton. I will do that. So if you got the New Orleans Hornets as a dark horse, if you got them as a dark horse NBA champ, where do you have them seated? So let's say the season ended today. Where are the New Orleans Hornets? We going into the playoff. Today is Monday. The playoffs start Thursday. Where are the New Orleans Hornets? What seed are they? Pelicans. I'm sorry, I keep calling them the Hornets. I'm sorry. Pelicans. So you think that they're a 4 or 5 seed? Because I don't think they're better than the Clippers. Who do I have top 5 out west? I got Warriors, Phoenix, Denver, Clippers, Minnesota. I don't think they're better than any of those 5 teams. I don't. Six if everything goes right. I'll tell you what though, guys. I'm gonna make it my business to pay attention more to Brandon Ingram this year. I haven't paid enough attention to him because I saw him in the 18-19 season. Yeah, the 18-19 season when he was with the Lakers with James. And he was a kid. I thought he was soft. So I kind of went the other way with him. I really stopped paying attention to him. But then next thing I know, this dude is 24, 25 a game, and he's on a crew where they've involved him way more in the offense than I even know. And I'm thinking to myself, should I get back on board? Should I start paying more attention to this dude than I do? And I think that I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to start paying more attention to him. Have you seen Zion Labs? Have you seen him? He looks phenomenal. He looks fantastic. And a lot of people don't do that. Don't do that, Ticket. He had a kid in Brandon Ingram. And remember, Ticket, don't do that, yo. Not only did he have a kid in Brandon Ingram, when James got on that crew, he was 34 years old. So the clock was ticking. It wasn't a situation where, yo, we got time for Kuzma, Lonzo, and for these dudes to develop. We don't have time for that. This is now. Don't do that, Ticket. No. Do not. No way. Now, where was I? I got thrown off the track. I'm sorry. What were we talking about? Zion. That's what we were talking about. We were talking about Zion. I think I'm focused. On my fault. I'm focused. I think Zion, what we forget about Zion is, a lot of these young dudes, Zion, 20 years old, he's still filling out. He still is growing into his body. We got this logic that, right? We got this logic that, this dude is overweight. And KG, when KG showed up, KG actually grew when he showed up. Jason Tatum is another dude. When he showed up, he got taller. Zion looked like he might have grown an inch or two. I can't say enough about him. Add that to the fact that, 26 and 6, 26-6. So on 60%, and the way he looks fantastic. I always felt like Zion, barring any health issues, or not even barring any health issues, because that's unrealistic. What I'm saying is Zion moving forward. If I could get, let's say 5, maybe 6 healthy seasons out of him, I think we're talking about Zion as one of the faces of the league. I do believe that. Hands down, a top 10 player. No doubt in my mind. If Zion, if I could get 5 or 6 good years, healthy seasons out of him, I honestly think that we're talking about Zion as one of the faces of the league. I honestly believe that. Because he has what a lot of these guys don't have. He has a lot of what these guys don't have. With him being a freakish athlete, he went to Duke. Not only did he go to Duke, playing for Coach Williams, not just playing for Coach Williams, but not Coach Williams, I'm sorry. What is this kid's name down in New Orleans? What the hell is this kid's name? The head coach in New Orleans. I don't know why that escapes me. I should know this. But anyway, playing for him. What the hell is this guy? Willie Green, that's his name. Willie Green. Willie Green knows the game. And he's still young enough where he can teach him. So when I look at Zion, I look at a guy who the sky's the limit for him. He could definitely be one of the faces of the league. If I can get 5 or 6 healthy seasons out of him, I honestly believe that we're talking about him like one of the faces of the league. Like we talk about Luka, like we talk about Giannis, like we talk about Embiid, like we talk about guys like that. I believe that. I do believe that. He could be, John. Yes, he could be. He could be that dude in between. Sure, he could be. I did see him flip out. Yes, I do. Yes, I did see him flip out. I'm good on, and this is what I don't want to do. And I'm not going to get animated about it. What I'm not trying to hear, guys, is I'm not trying to hear the logic of disrespecting guys like Cade Cunningham. I'm not listening to that. And the reason why I'm not listening to that is because these dudes on these whack crews that played 1 year and haven't done anything. And you want me to respect these dudes like they've been around for 4 or 5 years and they've made an all-star team and they've made the all-NBA team and their team improved drastically. Kill that. Enough of that with me. Because I'm not trying to hear that. I will not listen to any of that. I'm good. I will not listen to that. I think that Cade Cunningham is a franchise player, but what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to talk about this guy like he's the best point guard or the best lead guard in the game. I'm not talking about him. He's a young guy who I think is a franchise player. That's it. That's as far as I'm going. I'm not going any further than that. That's it. Yeah, I'm sleeping on him. I'm not sleeping on Cade Cunningham. No, I'm not. No, I am not. I know who Cade Cunningham definitely looks like he's on his way to doing something. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to hold this guy in that high of a regard. No, I'm not doing that. You're not going to get me to do that. No, I don't think so. No way. Mm-mm. My take on Darius Garland is I think he's a franchise point guard. I think he's going to be one of the better guards in the game. Not just the best one of the best lead guards. I think he's going to be one of the best guards in the game. No doubt about that. There's a reason why they paid him. This wasn't a fluke what you saw last season. I think Garland's best season, I think I can get 23 and 9 out of him. 23 and 8 out of him. 24 and maybe 10 out of him. It's his best season. But I think that I can get on the regular, I think I could get 19 and 8 from him. If I could get 19 and 8 from him for a decade, oh, hell yes. I'm so feeling that. So feeling that. Seven point guards better than Shea. Steph Curry's listed as a point guard. Trae Young is listed as a point guard. Luka is listed as a point guard. Let's see. Trae, Luka, Steph, Ja, Dame, Chris Paul, I think that's what New Orleans is missing too. I think they're missing a lead guard. I'm down to go Garland. Yes, I am down to go Garland. And I'm not ready to go Drew, but I'm definitely down to go Garland. And Irv, yeah, that's 7 right there. Yeah, that's 7 right there. Yeah, I'm good with that. That's 7 of them right there. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this question, Keyshawn, and it's about that time. What do you have? Shea is bigger than Garland. I'll give you that. But other than that, where is the separator with Shea and Garland? In your eyes, where is the separator between Shea and Garland? Scoring, even though and what is that producing for Oklahoma City? And do me a solid. Please don't try to sell me the logic that Oklahoma City is young. Because because Garland's starting lineup, the oldest dude on the starting lineup is Donovan Mitchell. He's 25 years old. That's really all I have to say about that. My dark horse for league MVP, and you're going to shoot me for this, we're going to have a serious conversation about Joker being the 3-time league MVP. We're going to have a serious conversation about that. Denver's going to be a lot better than they're going to be a lot better this season with having Murray and MPJ back. So we're going to have a serious, I don't know if Joker's going to win it, but we're going to have a serious conversation about seeing a 3 straight league MVP since Larry Bird did it in 86. I think we're going to have a serious conversation about that. Serious. So it's about that time for me, guys. It was good to see y'all tonight. I'm sure I'll see you again real soon. Basketball season is upon us. Training camp opens up tomorrow. So I will keep my ear to the ground and I will keep you posted. But until then, take it light, but take it.